You're a cancer, Quinn, spreading from Gotham's lymph nodes into its spleen, and God help us if you get into Gotham's bladder. They say they're all-inclusive, but that's bullsh! They charge you for the towels, the soap! When Gothamites hear the name Harley Quinn, I want them to piss themselves. And you think we're afraid of Joker's girlfriend? Party's over, you pieces of ish. So listen up, mother uggers. We're talking DC's Harley Quinn, Season 1, Episode 1, Till Death Do Us Part. The AfterBuzz After Show starts right now.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
That's right. We're talking some Harley Quinn all the way, and wow.
Right?
I thought this was a cartoon.
Right? No, like with the first F-bomb, I was like, this is gonna be epic.
F-bomb? I thought it was when the guy's face splattered blood all over
that
everyone.
Too, or when Joker pulled off someone's head that he was wearing. Not a mask,
yeah,
but the guy's actual head.
That's how it works. Right? You can have it no other way. We are talking Harley Quinn, DC's Harley Quinn, Season 1, Episode 1, Till Death Do Us Part. And by we, I mean me. I am Tehran. I will be your host alongside this glamorous panel of ours. To my left, the DC queen of critiques, Chauncey, is in the building. We have become the dynamic duo.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
Joker Quinn, maybe? No.
Joker Quinn. Listen, here's the thing. Amongst our platonic friendship is a Joker Quinn relationship for sure. For sure. There's some similarities to how it works. And more importantly, the person that I am still in a Joker Quinn relationship is behind the boards. The other half of the dynamic duo, even though it makes it a trio, Ryan is on the boards. What's up, Ryan Nilsson?
That's right. If you are Joker and she's Harley Quinn, I must be Batman because I'm going to bring both you to justice.
Definitely not.
I think maybe he's like that plant, Frank.
He's Frank?
No,
I can't give him Frank. I can't.
I'm Bane.
You have no idea how amazing and wonderful this cartoon is. I hate calling it a cartoon.
I know,
I literally
right?
hate calling it a cartoon, and I hope that people don't get it confused with a cartoon because parental advisory is definitely recommended.
Advised.
And so this was brilliant, and we're going to get into our overall thoughts because I can't wait to hear what you thought of this beginning series. However, as we are talking to this premiere, we are going to break it down, the different characters we meet. Harley Quinn, Joker, Poison Ivy, Riddler, Batman, Commissioner Gordon, even Frank the plant that you brought up. Harley and Joker's relationship, we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about Harley and Ivy's relationship because that's that's the side chick in a way, so we got to get that. Riddler's riddle, the engagement till death do us part, the fight, the actual fight that happens. We do have a special segment. How Harley are you? The scene or thing that Harley did that reminds you of you or one of the characters on the show by far. Okay. And of course, we do have some news and gossip. You're going to want to stay tuned because this is going to possibly be DC's most evolved, highest rated show. In my opinion, this is the best thing to come out on DC. And I was a fan of Titans as I do that show. I did Swamp Thing. I mean, I've literally done every DC.
Watchmen?
Yeah, but I'm talking about on the DC Universe streaming.
Oh, forget it.
Because Watchmen's brilliant. But you know what, Ryan? It's a great thing you brought up Watchmen because this is on the opposite spectrum of brilliance of Watchmen, meaning Watchmen is brilliant and Harley Quinn is brilliant, and they cannot be any more two different shows.
Yes. Meaning
one is extremely serious and the other one is takes itself not serious that it's brilliant. Yes. And I truly mean that. Mm-hmm. And I don't use that term lightly because I think I'm brilliant.
Yes, you do think that.
Exactly. And I think that both of these shows are brilliant as well. Yeah. Chauncey, what were your overall thoughts?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I laughed out loud so many times when it came to like every little thing that happened. I mean, I like Harley Quinn as a character, but I really felt like in this episode they did such a succinct job of like her evolution throughout it from the very beginning to like the last minute of it with that fight. And I just felt like it showed us like this crazy roller coaster ride that I was just so excited for. And it just pushed the boundary on every little thing that you thought they might not do, they did. And the jokes were just, I mean, next level in terms of just what they were. And I think it was such a gem for people who know the Batman universe too, right? Like there were so many Easter eggs in there for you, or just like blatant sort of spins on characters we've come to know and love or loathe. So I was just, as someone who knows, like likes the Batman universe, I was so excited about this.
So I had a problem. I am going to very much admit that I was against the show
Really?
when it started. And the reason being is because I was one of those purists where I'm like, I'm used to the Batman's voice from before, and I'm used to the Commissioner Gordon's voice from before, and I'm used to Harley Quinn's voice, who, of course, Arlene Sorkin, that Harley Quinn, that's who invented Harley Quinn, basically was invented for the Batman animated series. And,
Yes.
and of course, Mark Hamill does an amazingly great job as the Joker. And even when the cartoon movies come out and someone else voices Batman or Superman, I get annoyed. It turns me off. And this was the first critique that I had coming in. And also, I thought Batman animated series. And then I started watching. I'm like, oh, this is so silly and goofy. And what are they? And then I realized the subtle brilliance of what they're doing. The show doesn't take itself seriously, and we're not supposed to either. It's full of social commentary. It's full of an actual understanding of a character. And as you stated, Chauncey, the character development of Harley Quinn is quintessential to something that you would see on a much higher brow show.
Yeah.
Let's be very honest. This is masqueraded as a cartoon. It's something that's covered up in the guise of silliness, but it's truly, truly genius at its core. The concepts of feminists, bad relationships. We talk about that with Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Especially as we are in the woke generation now, we realize that things that we thought as kids were funny or okay are not okay. And they talk about these things. I mean, the language, as often, and as a comedian, I realize it is the way to soften the blow. It's a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, and it truly helps the medicine go down. I mean, we get new voices of characters who are honestly amazing. Let's be very real. These characters are every bit, and it's different. Keep Batman animated out of your mind.
Yeah.
This is everything that you've ever thought when you were watching. Just the funny things that you say. It's an inside joke.
Yeah.
The entire show is one big inside joke.
Yeah, and I think that's why I appreciate it. I kind of got, for people who might know the show, Archer vibes with it.
Oh,
like
that's a
very
great
much
call.
like Archer, which is one of my fave shows. I don't like
Brilliant.
calling that a cartoon because of how like on point it is when it's with its comedy, like the references that they were throwing back. So even if you like, just as someone who loves the Batman universe, it was kind of like you said, this was kind of like throw out everything you know, and now we're going to be kind of inside jokes on a lot of stuff, but also place it in popular culture, which also works. And widens it to another audience.
And we get a lot of voices of people that we do love. Alan Tudyk, who we are familiar with on Doom Patrol. And,
Yes.
of course, through his amazing acting resume, is the Joker. Kaylee Cuoco is Harley Quinn. And so on. And so you get a lot of Christopher
also a
Maloney.
producer on the show.
She is.
Yes.
She is. And Christopher Maloney, which is amazing how diverse the cast is, and naturally so.
Yes.
With, once again, brilliant voices. You get a lot of... Christopher Maloney is Commissioner Gordon. So, amazing actor, right? So, you get Diedrich Bader as Batman. And then you get a lot of other... Ron Funches as King Shark later on. We're going to get Raul Coley as Scarecrow. Wanda Sykes as Queen of Fables.
Yes.
J.B. Smoove. We get J.B. Smoove this episode, Frank the Plant. So, we get a lot of people we know coming in and voicing these characters, and we're looking forward to them. And Frank the Plant, who's not a character, is such a character.
Frank the Plant.
It's just honestly, it's
I love him
brilliant.
so
I was
much.
very impressed. Let's talk about Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
We meet her first. Here, Harley Quinn comes out, and as a character, she is the abused girlfriend. I mean, she basically classic abusive codependency. You just got to show her there's no future with him, and you have to find your own identity. That's what Harley Quinzel would have said to her as a doctor, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Quinzel.
I appreciated that because one of the things, like you said, things we've grown up on, there was a thing with Joker and Harley that was very glamorized. You know, even when she was created for the cartoon, it was like, oh, Puddin', and like, you know, just this lover kind of relationship. And even in that cartoon, there was some sort of reference of Joker loving her to a certain degree. And I think since then we've seen, you know, growing awareness that this, even if he has some weird warped love for her, that it's very toxic for her. And I love the fact that in the beginning of this, it was kind of like she wanted to stand out on her own, but it was They even have chemistry, though, funny enough, even as a dysfunctional
And then she's a partner.
duo.
That sounds like something you would say. You know, this is my show, and you're just on it. But you'd be like, no, but partner. We're partners.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
No,
exactly.
my...
Yeah, you run the show, main course, sure.
Yeah, I get
So, like, the thing with, with Quinn, with Harley Quinn, it was just the fact that she wanted to stand on her own, but Joker just couldn't let her do it. So it was kind of like this hyper meta version of maybe the argument that they would have, that we wouldn't see on the regular animated series or in the movies or whatnot. So I really appreciate that.
And that's what I meant by the inside joke. The inside joke is you are familiar with these characters.
Yes.
They don't try to explain them to you.
No.
However, even if you're not familiar with these characters, it becomes quickly apparent who they are. Harley Quinn, especially the beginning part of Harley Quinn, 90% through this episode, Harley Quinn is the pudding. He's coming for me. She's in jail. And so off the ship, Joker's like, he's like, no, go fight Batman. I gotta go. But you won't even spend a night in jail. Well, actually, I'm busy tonight.
Yes.
But definitely tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll come get you. Then it shows 3 months. She's in Arkham for 3 months. And then 3 months after that. And then it's been a year to date before she even gets out. And she's waiting around for the call. And she's like, you don't know him like I do.
And Poison Ivy is that friend who's just like, girl.
Yeah, Poison Ivy is the Beyonce album friend. She is Summer
she's the
Walker.
Beyonce album, yes.
Yeah, she is
maybe
the
the
one.
Rihanna album, maybe.
She's the one who brings up. Well, no, because Rihanna, she still understands. She understands, but she's like, you're wrong. You need to get out of this.
Yeah.
She's a good friend, and so to speak. And so we get Harley Quinn, and we get to see her in her glory, and we get to see her change. We see that Harley Quinn from the cartoon become Harley Quinn from the movie.
Yes.
And how it came about, and the costume change and everything. It was like, and even from the hammer to the bat.
That, which I loved. I loved that moment when she looks at it. I'm like, that is so smooth what just happened there.
So natural, organic.
Yes.
This
She's
is
like,
organic
I like this.
growth.
But I'm like, see, this is good pace.
We met the Joker.
Yes.
The Joker is an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wrote F-boy.
Yeah.
When I was watching.
I saw you wrote Tehran.
Yeah, and your name right next to it.
You're actually, yeah, I did not see that, by the way. Yeah, but that's the thing. He's just that guy. He's the Joker. Once again, a meta version of the Joker. And still, it's, by the way, not only is it brilliant, it's very funny.
Yes. And I loved how, like you said, the meta version of the Joker, one of the things they did, they played up his insecurities of what you would think his kind of insecurities would be. Like the fact of, I'm the funniest
I'm the
person.
Joker. I'm the funniest villain.
What is the Riddler doing? Like, like
that's my
indirect.
thing. Tommy's my thing.
Yeah, and he calls him, like, what he said, he says, an indirect comedian.
Passive aggressive. He's not supposed to be funny.
Right? And it's just like, you could tell, like, that's so meta. Like, it's looking at this character and what would be their thing. Or the fact of his, and they kind of did that with Lego Batman too, like the whole attachment to Batman. It's like, yes, Batman is the one I've always had my eye for in whatever kind of way you want to interpret that. But like, that's my other half, not Harley Quinn.
And then of course we got Poison Ivy, the friend, the best friend, the girlfriend, she is that girl.
Yes.
She's the strong, independent woman, hates her friend or fast becoming friend, even being dependent, and helps cure that. Riddler. What do you think about the Riddler?
I thought he was funny.
So cute.
I thought him and Calendar Man was actually funny. I loved how Calendar Man was like, oh, so hi.
And then he forgot his son's birthday.
Right?
You're a Calendar Man. How did you forget? And then the guards were like, that's probably why you forgot your birthday.
Right?
It's just so
It
funny.
was just so relentless.
Yeah.
Some of the jokes. And I just love that in this island we got to see all of these characters that we know.
Developed so quickly
Yes.
and so completely with very little effort.
Exactly.
And it's okay, and the one-dimensionalness to them all still gives way. It still allows, unlike in other situations, it allows for growth. And I really appreciate that. Even with Batman. Batman is... Hey,
Batman.
Hey, this is Batman.
He's very direct so far in this episode.
Yes.
And he has his... You don't see the underline.
No. You want to come to the cookout? No.
Exactly.
It's just very... to the point.
Doesn't have much fun yet. We don't know if he has much fun as Batman in this particular way. He doesn't really entertain any of the villains.
And I like
much.
how the show's not about Batman.
No, it's not.
Batman quickly becomes a side character.
I do like how we didn't have to wait too long to see him, though.
Exactly.
I'm a little worried. Sometimes with Batman universe type shows that aren't
Especially
focused on
DC
him.
universe type shows, Titans.
Yes, that show where it's like, you know, there's always a reference to Batman and Batman this and Gotham that, and you never see him, and it's like, well, aren't you around this area? Wouldn't he be there? So I like the fact that he did present himself, but this is on the viewpoint of the villains and their world of villainy. Whatever.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yes. Oh my God.
So funny, so frazzled. Just I'm playing with. Stop playing with the light.
He's like, why are we laughing?
Such a good character.
I love how they thought to do that, though, to make him kind of this. And wouldn't he be like as the commissioner of a city that stays with crime? Attack. Like, wouldn't he be a mess? Wouldn't he be like an inch from a mental breakdown? That totally makes sense.
Just thinking about it, Frank was such a great character.
Fave character so far was Frank.
Just from the moment you meet Frank. What happened to that boy that I paid to come water? I don't know.
He chops off his body. Like, he quit after a few days. It was so unprofessional. And then he throws
his parents are gonna come look at him. I don't think so. And chops off the parents.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, just so good.
So aggressive.
Harley
I love
and Joker's relationship, we know going in that they have an abusive relationship.
Yes.
Of course, we're aware now that it's toxic. In the 90s, we may not have been as
we
kids growing up,
glamorized it.
but now we realize it's toxic, and they play on it. Their relationship, is Harley actually codependent on the Joker?
I think in the beginning she is. I think it's one of those things where she had to maybe try to figure out that she could stand on her own. But I don't even think it was so much that she was like, oh, I'm like even like insecure, like she couldn't stand her own. I think she always had this rose-colored version that she was his partner, that she was like his almost like equal in command, and that eventually got like taken off. But I don't even know if I want to say it was codependent, as if or more so she thought she was more important than she was to him. Does that count as codependent necessarily?
Joker's clearly narcissist.
He's a narcissist.
And Harley plays into that and only sees herself from the view of the Joker in her glamorized way, in her romanticized way, but doesn't actually see her role as the Joker sees it.
Yes.
Where she is an assistant.
The girlfriend.
And sometimes, not even the girlfriend.
Well, everyone else refers to her as the girlfriend. Yeah.
And it becomes a thing where actually a lot of guys are guilty of that, where we are looking for assistance more so than partners.
Yeah, someone to kind of take care of, do what your mama
especially guys in that position,
anymore.
especially guys in that powerful position. Joker is the supervillain, and he plays that. He's the head of the Legion of Doom. Mm-hmm. I mean, this is the biggest, and they play up to that. Harley and Ivy's relationship is very different.
Yeah, one of the things was interesting to me, and I didn't need to get too deep in it, I like that they explained why Poison Ivy was so protective of her, because of the fact of her skill set as a doctor. She said, you were one of the best psychologists ever. You got to me. Like, I can't stand being around humans, but now I don't want to kill them all the time. And I was like, that's a very good, quick backstory for that. Just to kind of explain that she's not just doing this out of the kindness of her heart, but more so because they made a connection. And I like that.
And she believes in her. And it's like this, I'm your best friend. We become best friends, and it becomes very real. And I like also, they don't do a lot of explaining on the show.
No.
They do it quickly, and I appreciate that.
They respect their audience. It's one of those things. It's like they respect that if you're coming to this show, that one, you probably already love Batman, but also that you are looking at it in a way that you know these characters. You don't need all that backstory, but you'll get the references.
Okay. What is cold but still burns? What will eat you if you drink it?
Acid.
I wasn't even fit. Did I say the cold still burns?
Yes, you did.
Okay, what about the
acid?
Okay, fine, it's acid. The Riddler's riddle.
I know.
Captures them, and then of course Batman and Harley are there, and Joker has to make a decision. Only one can live, and of course the Joker chooses Batman.
Batman, of course, because that's the epitome of his existence.
And we've seen the other way done before, where people have accused Batman of needing the Joker. That's why it allows him to live.
Yeah.
Because without the Joker, the Batman has no meaning. It's a very reciprocated relationship where now Joker needs Batman to basically validate his existence. No, he needs Batman. And he even says, I'm not going to let the Riddler kill Batman.
Right? Like, I'm not going to give him that. Like, sorry, girl, you got to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then quickly,
typical.
Basically, but he did take a second and then chooses Harley to die. And then let Harley die. And then, of course, it was margarita mix. stings.
Yes.
She's like, it still stings.
No, it was a really good sequence, and I think it just shows one of the things they've always, no matter what kind of iteration, they have played on that thing of like Batman being that symbol of discipline and the Joker being the symbol of chaos, and why you need that both of those things to exist. But in the sense of, I liked how when she drops into the margarita mix, she kind of closes her eyes on Batman and Joker leaving, because that has really nothing to do with her necessarily, and I felt like that was her moment of like, that was a symbolic moment of like, she's out of that. That's a two-way relationship.
She's like a bitter girlfriend, like the bitter ex, so now she has to like, I'm gonna show you how good I am without you.
That definitely becomes a thing.
And we get that because first we get the engagement, which turns out to be like the way she saw it. Her expectation and the reality were two very different
what actually
things.
happened, which reminds us that she is insane. She was dropped into like acid early on or whatever, her origin story. But like, it reminds you that she doesn't remember things very clearly.
Or at least sees them through her own lens, her own version of them. And she does, because she consistently romanticizes Joker's actions. I mean, he blew up a guy. For me, that's very romantic.
I mean, I can see that from her perspective, why that. I mean, he went the extra mile for a second.
And of course, he still kind of gets her back. Like that toxicness of, oh, wow, you're back. I was doing this for you.
Till death do us part. Yeah.
It's so good. So strong. And then, of course, the fight where she basically shows off with all the henchmen and she beats them all.
Yeah. Which was an awesome sequence.
And it's not lopsided. It's not like she doesn't
she gets hit.
She takes her licks and she keeps on ticking.
Yeah.
She does. And I mean, this show is just so strong.
It is. And I love the fact that like she takes the beating, because that's one of the things about Harley Quinn too. It's not just the fact that she's like Superman or like somehow, stronger than everyone else, or Wonder Woman in that kind of comparison, but it's more so she's human. She keeps getting back up. I mean, she's still insane and whatnot like that, but she keeps getting back up. She can take a real hit and then still like want to,
and we all love us some Harley Quinn. We all really do. Let's find out how Harley are you. So what happened in this show that made you say this is a Chauncey?
Well, there were a lot of things, but I would say maybe the part where she talks to herself in the picture, where it's kind of like giving herself that pep talk. I've done that.
Strong.
What about you?
Mine is going to be when Joker's like, okay, maybe not tonight, but definitely tomorrow.
Wait a minute, you asked the Joker?
Yes. And then a year later, like, oh, I did this for you. It's such a Tehran thing to do, to be very honest. That's
a PSA announcement right there for anyone who wants to date this guy.
The one thing that I heard so much, I've heard consistently through my life, is that I'm so much like the Joker. Don't know if that's a compliment or not. I'll let you know. Ryan, I know the chat is live and well. I do want to take this time to thank all of you for watching us, giving us your comments below. We appreciate you sharing, subscribing, spreading the word, sharing the love, telling your friends. Make sure to hit that like button. We need each and every one. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, give us that 5 stars. We so greatly deserve. We appreciate you. We promise to become the DC Harley Quinn most talked about after show. We will be the best after show and have a lot of tidbits. Let's get into some news and gossip, shall we? AfterBuzz TV News. Well, talk about news and gossip, the most anticipated show, or is it? Harley Quinn animated series, is it worth your time? Digital Spy, our friends over at Digital Spy, did an entire article on is this show good? And guess what? Everyone agrees this is possibly the best show that DC has had on. DC fans wait, and we all have been, especially with the Margot Robbie interpretation of Harley Quinn. We're waiting for Birds of Prey. Warner Brothers gives us this, and trust me, it is not PG. The article makes sure to let you know it's not kid-friendly animation you're used to from seeing DC. This is a no-holds-barred, violent, vulgar dialogue and action, so make sure you know that. And Harley hits, there's bloods and lots of it. You will see all of this and more. Please go to the digitalspy.com article and read it. It is the Harley Quinn animated series worth your time? ? By Sarah Clements, and trust me, I will answer it for you. Yes, it is.
It is.
Completely is. Thank you so much. We don't have predictions simply because of the nature of the show.
Chaos.
It is chaos, so we are all anticipating watching the next episode. I appreciate each and every one of you. Where can people find you if you want to be found? Chauncey K. Robinson.
You can find me at Rotten Tomatoes, as I am a certified film and TV critic.
And of course, find me at I Am Tehran all across the board, and hosting and paneling on a slew of other AfterBuzz after shows, because all of your favorite TV shows are my favorite favorite TV shows too, or at least not fake it like they are. Guys, I will see you next week right here. We're going to talk more Harley Quinn. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.